What if I told you that you can lose that belly fat? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today I bring you 7 proven hacks to help you lose that belly fat. It has worked for me and I believe it can help you too. Now let's get some things out of the way, shall we? Now, belly fat is more than just an inconvenience or a nuisance. Now, there are two main types of body fat. We have a subcutaneous fat, which is stored under the skin. You can squish it, you can pinch it. And then you have the visceral fat or belly fat or intra-abdominal fat, which is the hard fat you feel in the abdomen. It is stored around the organs, stored in the omentum, which is like an apron covering your intestines, and it gets harder as it fills with fat. Now, while fat anywhere in the body can increase our disease risk, it is this visceral fat that is the most dangerous. Now, experts believe too much fat in the abdomen and around the organs is a major cause of insulin resistance. Well, it's known that excess fat in the liver disrupts insulin signaling. It is also prone to inflammation, producing inflammatory markers, which also impairs how your body responds to insulin. And with that out of the way, let's get into my 7 hacks to help you lose that belly fat. Number 1, cut out sugar sweetened beverages and fruit juices. The rationale here is to lose fructose, which is a type of simple sugar. Studies show that fructose is more readily metabolized into visceral fat by the liver. And one major source of fructose in our diet today is soft drinks and fruit juices. Now, don't get me wrong, fructose in and of itself is not the problem. The problem is fructose in excess. Fructose is present in fruit. It makes up 50% of table sugar. And I don't mean to bust your bubble when it comes to fruit juices, but the thing is that the juices allow us to consume high amounts of fructose that would not naturally be consumed by eating the whole fruit. Now, in 2009, researchers from the University of California gave 2 groups of overweight men and women beverages that were sweetened with either fructose or glucose for 10 weeks. It was found that both groups had gained the same amount of weight, about 3 pounds, but the fat did not all go to the same place. Fructose group had a significantly higher amount of visceral fat. So what can we do? Stick with water or seltzer water or non-caloric teas most of the time, and be cautious about zero sugar drinks. I have a video on zero sugar substitutes, and new research keeps coming up. Hack number 2, take 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in a glass of water before a high carbohydrate meal. It helps stabilize blood sugar levels by a whopping 34%, may improve insulin sensitivity, and may result in the storage of less visceral fat. Hack number 3, cut out alcohol or alcohol in excess. Now, numerous studies, including one reported in the International Journal of Obesity, have associated a daily consumption of alcohol with an increase in visceral or belly fat. Now, you've all heard the recommendation about 1 or 2 drinks per day. This is what 1 drink looks like if you must drink, but the recent Canadian recommendation is no drink at all is best. There's no amount of anti-cancer agents that you're going to get from red wine that you cannot get from healthful eating or from fruits and vegetables. So there, I busted your excuses. Sorry, guys. Hack number 4. Get a good night's sleep and reduce stress, because stress can make you gain belly fat by the increased production of cortisol. A lot of times our sleep suffers at the altar of our busy lives and stress. We just need to be intentional about sleep. Our sleep-wake cycles affect our appetite, our hunger cues, our gut microbiome. A short sleep is even associated with a greater risk of developing type 2 diabetes. At least 36 different studies in over 1 million participants have found that very short sleep of less than 5 hours per night on a chronic basis can increase our risk of diabetes by up to 48%. Now, inadequate sleep has also been associated with an upshifting of your hunger hormone, ghrelin, and a downshifting of your satiety hormone called leptin. And so, what happens is you're hungry all the time, you're prone to consume more calories, resulting in weight gain and belly fat. Hack number 5 is to try a lower carbohydrate way of eating. Carbs elicit the highest insulin response of all the macronutrients. A very high carb diet can contribute to insulin resistance, and so a reduction will help improve insulin sensitivity. In an 8-week study, put in 2 groups, one on a higher carb diet, another on a lower carb diet, they found at the end of the study that the lower carb group had 11% less visceral or abdominal fat compared to the higher carb group. Last but not the least, number 6, intermittent fasting. You can fast for 16 hours and eat within an 8-hour window, or 14, 10, or 12, 12, depending on where you're starting from, right? Start slow. And the idea is not to rush in all the foods that you like within that 8-hour window or whatever. Just make sure you're eating nutrient-dense foods. You don't want to end up with any deficiencies. Of course, there are different types of and ways to do intermittent fasting. If you're diabetic, be extra careful. Talk to your doctor. Number 7, plan physical exercise. I cannot emphasize this enough. It is essential for good health, improves quality of life. You can do high intensity interval training where you do 100-meter sprints, you walk, you repeat 6 to 10 times. The sprinting or explosive movements, they would cause your body to release high levels of hormones called catecholamines, which drive the release of fat, especially abdominal fat. If you're unable to do high intensity interval training, you can just walk, you can do swimming, whichever exercise works for you, as long as you're consistent. And remember, guys, we're trying to do lifelong sustainable changes for good health. It's not a fad, it's not a diet, it's not a program. It is something that you're going to be able to stick to all through your life. So here we are. I'm going to give you a recap. Number 1, cut out sugary beverages and fruit juices. Number 2, take apple cider vinegar before a high carb meal. Number 3, cut out excess alcohol. Number 4, get enough sleep and reduce stress. Number 5, lower your starchy carbohydrates. Number 6, try intermittent fasting. And number 7, plan physical exercise. These are hacks that I personally recommend. I use them and it helps me, so you can try them too. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you next time. Bye.